I think that the key to being a great artist is to embrace the things that have the potential to destroy you. Finding calm in the chaos. I think for me, I struggle with fear, failure, solitude, and perseverance. And as those are the things that are my greatest struggle, I also think of them as my greatest strength. A lot of times I'm afraid of pushing the envelope or getting out there and letting my voice be heard. For the longest time I didn't share my music with anybody other than my closest friends and family. And even then I was weird about it, and you can ask any of them, it was like pulling teeth trying to get me to play. And then I had an experience where I kind of tried to step out of that and it wasn't successful, and kind of pushed me back into that box of fear. And finally one day I just got tired of it, and I decided that I was going to do this music project, and I was going to embrace my fears. I was going to throw out anything that I came up with and just see what happened with it. And it's been very freeing in a way, but that fear is still there. It's in the back of my mind whenever I'm practicing, whenever I'm writing, whenever I'm singing, or whenever I'm coming up with lyrics. It's that fear that, okay, this isn't good, or this stinks. And I've given it a name, and it's not my own. It's from Natalie Goldberg, Writing Down the Bones. She talks about it as being the editor, and you got to be aware of your fear editor. It's telling you that you're no good and that what you're doing isn't worthy of being shared. And you've just got to write past that. You've got to make yourself go past that fear and push the boundaries. And I think a lot of times when I've been the most afraid of something, or I've been afraid of how it's going to be received, those are the things that have gotten the best reception, and those are the things that have actually turned out to be, greater pieces of work. I think failure has been an important part, because the only way that you can get better is to repeatedly fail and not do it the same way like you did the last time. Failure leads to innovation. I don't know how many light bulbs so-and-so, or what's his face, Thomas Edison, threw out before he figured out the right one. But he said, I figured out a lot of ways how to not make a light bulb. And I won't mention the fact that Tesla made a better light bulb, but that's neither here nor there. The thing about it is, by failing, you open yourself up to opportunities to succeed. And you have to come about them in innovative ways. Every time I screw up on a scale, when I'm practicing my scales, I slow down, reevaluate, and push forward. It causes me to be stronger in a way by embracing those failures, by acknowledging them and giving myself the room to overcome them. And I think that's an important part of the creative process, and for me at least, is embracing my failures. Solitude, that one is really hard, I'm not gonna lie. There is a very lonely aspect of being an artist or being a creator. You have to sit down, for the most part, for most artistic works, you have to sit down and you have to spend time with yourself, and you have to be alone for a while and actually put words to pages, or ink, to brush, that kind of thing. You have to spend that time in solitude, and it can get a little lonely. It can get a little isolated, like you're on an island. And I think that solitude is a good thing, though. That reflection can come forward in your artistic work. For me, I have a tendency to, go out on my little island and hardly come up for air. But when I do come up for air, and I'm experiencing all the things that are going on around me, the world is just this beautiful, colorful place, and I think it enriches not only my work when I'm in solitude, but it enriches the experiences that I have outside of my work, because I am taking it all in. I am experiencing that non-solitude aspect. I'm experiencing the world. I'm experiencing my friends, my family, and I'm able to take those experiences back and channel them into, you know, my artwork. And I think lastly, and the most important part, is perseverance. There are going to be days like today where I've worked a lot, and the holidays are just over, and it's been crazy, and I have chores that need to be done and errands that need to be ran, and you know, I'm headed into work, and it is madness, and I don't feel like creating. And there are times when I'll put something out and I don't feel like it's all that good, or I sit down like we talked about earlier and I have that editor going and it's got me down, or maybe something that I thought would do really well didn't do as well as I wanted it to. And it's important in those moments to persevere, to just say, you know what, forget it, I'm going to push forward, I'm going to continue to create, I'm going to continue to sit down, and regardless of whether I want to or not, I'm going to make good art. Because also I think a lot of artists and a lot of people that are creative, they want to wait until inspiration hits them, but it's been my experience that inspiration finds you working. Inspiration finds you at a desk, at a piano, in front of a canvas, you know, actually putting in the time. So perseverance, I think, is the most important part, because there are going to come times when you don't feel like creating. There are going to come times when you don't feel like doing anything, you just want to sit back and watch television. But those are your opportunities. Those are the times when it's important to sit down, because you never know what you're going to find whenever you sit down in that process. Hope this has been helpful. Hope you have a happy rest of the week and a safe New Year's. Thank you. Cheers.